Oh my god. We're back. We are back. Hello everyone and welcome to the What the Sheep podcast episode 58, where Alana and myself, at long last, finally returning, will be discussing Critical Role Campaign 3, the announcement State of the Role stream that Critical Role just put out. Holy frickin' moly. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
We're a little excited.
We're just a little bit excited. And, okay, so I want to know what your initial thoughts were. When did you sort of expect Campaign 3 to happen?
I was a real downer, I think. So I was expecting it way later.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was on a sheet or if it was on just a chat we were having. I was saying, like, I think they're going to wait for the animated series to come out, maybe at the end of this year, and then premiere Campaign 3 start of the year. So I think I said, like, mid-January was my guess. Wasn't happy about my guess, but that was my guess. Because I thought, they're going to stagger it, give them a really big break. But I suppose, how long has it been since Campaign 2 ended now? 5 years?
Yeah, around that time. Yeah, it's been a little while since Campaign 2
I suppose
ended.
It has been a decent break so far. So, yeah. But what about you? When did you think initially?
I was kind of in the same boat. So I was split pretty hard on it because I figured either we would get Campaign 3 first or we would get the animated series first, and then whichever one came first, then the other one would come in 2022, early 2022. So but I also wasn't expecting anything to be releasing as soon as it is, as we got confirmation that we're getting Campaign 3 in 3 weeks, October 21st, that soon. I was thinking at least like mid-November, maybe, or maybe even December. I didn't really know. I really didn't expect this soon. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's really nice because it was a bit of it was a massive surprise, I think, of just like, oh, that's really soon. That's actually, we don't have that long to wait, which is great because could you imagine how feral we would get if we had like a 2-month break?
Yeah.
We knew for certain it was definitely coming, but we had.
And it actually feels like the perfect wait time for it. Yeah. So I feel like even if it was like a week sooner, I feel like that would be like super fast, like super soon, almost too soon. But you can never have Campaign 3 too soon. I'm here. We have had a drought. I mean, Exandria Unlimited was amazing and stuff, but I have been craving seeing all of our buddies back sitting around the table.
Yeah.
And speaking of sitting around the table,
yes,
they're going to be sitting around the table.
Oh, it's really nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I was watching some earlier like Campaign 2 and even Campaign 1 episodes a little while ago, and I kind of forgot how much interaction and how much I loved seeing them at the table together, because it was that next level of interaction.
Oh yeah.
Actually being able to be there and turn and hug and look each other in the face.
Yeah.
Look each other in the eyes when they were acting together.
And it,
no.
Yeah, and it definitely adds that layer of like comedic, physical, storytelling in certain aspects. When they're able to interact directly next to someone, it's great, and I'm so excited for them to be.
Brings into question,
table.
What's the table setup going to be like?
Because that's super important because that dictates a lot of like early character dynamics, just because the person's right there next to you.
I'm sad that we missed out on about 42 episodes of more Sam and Laura next to each other. I think that was probably the best pairing from both campaigns so far.
Yeah, pure chaos, just bottled right next to each other. Yeah.
I'd be happy if they sat next to each other again, because
I wouldn't care.
Dynamic.
But
again, it depends on the characters. These new characters that they're going to be
also
playing.
Also very true.
They interact. If any of them are going to be connected before the campaign.
Yeah, initial connections. We talked briefly about that off stream. Because obviously in Campaign 1 we had Vex and Vax, and obviously that played a very severe emotional or carried like emotional weight throughout this story and stuff. It'd be very interesting to see if there is something like that. And we kind of had some kind of a connection in campaign 2 with Caleb and Veth's character. They had a brief history a little bit, but we're talking about like sibling or like relationship or marriage, even something like that. Like a direct connection. That would be interesting to have. If there was like an already established relationship at the beginning of a campaign, would be interesting.
Parent and child would be an interesting relationship. That'd be weird to role play.
Yeah, maybe.
With the partner, which I'm sure they all are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But we can talk about that in a bit. Not to jump ahead. We'll talk about characters.
So we'll just, of course, we're gonna go over everything that was announced during the State of the Roll stream, starting with kind of what they opened up with, and that was to throw all expectations out the window, because it's going to be a new and unique experience. There's going to be a possibility for new storytellers, which could either mean a guest of some kind, or someone taking on the DM mantle for a little bit.
Like co-DMing is
co-DMing. I know Matt did confirm that he will be DMing this campaign.
Yes.
So we'll see if maybe like he just switches out, or there's a co-DMing sort of situation.
I think at a point in the past, a point previous to this point, Matt had said he wanted Matt Koval at some point to play an NPC villain for campaign 2. Which I've seen done before, and I've done it before in a game. I was playing with students, but at the same time, I've done it before where I've had someone play an NPC.
Yeah.
And it was a really fun, interesting dynamic. And I think if you're getting, say, like, other people to come in to play specific NPCs, so they're not running the game, but they do have their own purpose and they're antagonistic to the players. It's going to be really exciting, especially too if it's like, someone that they've played with before, and they're like, oh, they're here to join us, and they turn out to be the villain.
Oh, that would be so good.
Really exciting.
So good, yeah.
But
100% Matt Colville will make some kind of an appearance this one, since he was meant to in season 2 or campaign 2, but sometimes things happen. Sometimes you leave the Empire and go to the Kryn Dynasty, and give a very revered artifact to the Queen. Sometimes that happens. Yeah. But it's fine. But I would love to see Matt Colville in campaign 3. That'd be really cool to see. Or even some of the characters players we had in Exandria Unlimited, like seeing Robbie and Amy again, or even Abria in a character.
I feel like we're definitely going to see more Abria, no matter what.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She feels just like a part of the fold now.
I know, and she's just such a natural too. But I think she's running something with Matt and the Dimension 20 DM. Brennan? Yeah. I think they were running something. I can't remember.
Ooh. I freaking love Brennan Lee Mulligan.
Oh yeah.
So he's another one of the kind of top picks of someone I'd love to see.
That would be great.
I think as a player, because him as a player is horrifyingly good.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah. But yeah, no, guests, super excited. Getting more people in from outside, like new people as well, would be really exciting. Yeah,
super excited. But one of the interesting things that Matt had said is that there's going to be new ways that they tell their story. That is very vague and also very broad. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean, like... Because so with Vox Machina and with the Mighty Nein, we've gotten a lot of these expanded stories in the form of comic books and various artistic mediums after the campaign has been over or close to its end. So are we going to potentially see these maybe mini comic series or anything else, maybe little animated shorts or something during the actual campaign?
Maybe. That's a good way to think of it. I was thinking like, as you say, with Campaign 1 and Campaign 2, they followed kind of a set structure of, arcs leading to arcs, while the final arc was kind of spread throughout before its final arc. But I was thinking maybe it'd be something a little bit more casual, or at least a bit more loose for this campaign. So whether it's not massive major arcs, it's more smaller stories, or smaller side quests, and that's when they might bring in other people.
Oh yeah.
Something reminiscent to me was like the Slayer's take from the first campaign of how different adventuring parties would join and like go off and do things. So I was wondering if maybe that's kind of where they were going a little bit, like smaller stories. And I'd be interesting to this is jumping way ahead. I'm interested to see how long this campaign will run for, because I'm not sure if they expected campaign 2 to run as long as it did. Because we know Matt always said like, oh, they probably won't get to level 20, all that information, but I'm still not sure if that's how long they thought it would run. They did, I think, always say it will run as long as it needs to. I'm wondering if perhaps this campaign will be a little bit more, not so much structured, but follow the opposite of that. Follow a more loose kind of guide of how the story unfolds.
It definitely...
the party split up and break up and move to different areas and have their own side quests and things like that.
Yeah. It seems like now they're fully... While it's still their game and we are merely spectators, but it seems like they are beginning to shift gears and actually make it feel like a show, like a fully produced show with all these different changes they're doing, the upgraded studio that we got a nice sneak peek of, this different way to tell stories, potentially new storytellers and all this stuff. It feels like they're shaking up the game, and as Matt had said, to throw out expectations, the campaign 3 is not going to be anything like campaign 1 or 2, which I think is very fair. I think it might feel redundant or repetitive if it was the same formula going into campaign 3. While it obviously was successful, very successful, I think that it'll be a good change of pace.
Yeah, because I think you're right. I think if we had another campaign where it was low-level characters slowly forming bonds, growing up, leveling up, final big bass. Oh no, the final boss is a bass. Yeah. The big bass fight. I think, as you say, we would still watch it.
Oh yeah,
regardless, most likely.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's exciting to see how they can change the oh lordy, change the format, I guess, and keep it fresh, which is good. It's exciting.
Yeah, and I'm excited. Which now changes my thoughts on if this will be like their last campaign. And maybe their last campaign for like the core group, but because they're making so many upgrades and adding so many different changes, they might end up wanting to expand on them more, or even adding even more changes in the future once this campaign is all wrapped up. Again, jumping super far ahead. But I think all of these changes that they're making actually bodes well for the future of Critical Role and Brawl, and for potentially future campaigns and different series they plan on doing. I'm just really excited all around for all this stuff.
Yeah, and I think obviously they're putting a lot of effort into this and the setup, and even like the set and just seems like the production is ramping up. So yeah, even if we don't get another, even if we don't get sounds so stupid, campaign 4.
Yeah.
We don't get like a campaign 4 where it's Matt as GM. The fact that I think that was called into question, I'm not sure if it was called into question because of the vagueness of some of the tweets, or because people were actually wondering if Matt wasn't going to be GM for this campaign. But whether or not we get a different DM, or whether or not it's, smaller mini arcs like EXU, or not the full party, not the full table, they take a break or something like that and work on other things. I feel like regardless, they're all going to be involved somehow, because this is the company they've built together and a lot of work into it. I don't think it's something they're going to, how long did campaign 2 run? Like 3 years? I'm not sure if in like 2-3 years time they're going to be like, oh well, we had a good run. May as well.
Right.
May as well sell it to, who would it be terrible to sell to?
Anyone. I can't imagine it in anyone else's
Sell it to
hands.
Disney and like...
Oh, no. No. Don't give it to Disney. No.
Yeah. But no, I think they're in it for the long haul.
Yeah. I agree. Super, super excited. A few other things. They are sticking with pre-recordings, which makes sense. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
I didn't really mind, but I guess a little part of me is kind of sad, because when it was live, it felt real. Like, it really felt like we were all in the moment, us and as well as the cast.
Yeah.
But I'm not too worried, and it makes sense to be pre-recorded. Obviously, it makes things a lot easier on them as far as scheduling goes. They don't, if for whatever reason all of them couldn't make it on a Thursday because it's pre-recorded, they can shift the dates, but then still air the episode on a Thursday. So it definitely makes a lot of sense for it to be pre-recorded. But I also understand if people had a bit more negative sentiments on that. But overall, I think it's probably fine. Yeah. Probably a good thing. Sure.
I think so.
The other good thing is, for them, is the taking off the last Thursday of every month, giving them extra time to work on post-production stuff, or as they said, it gives them a chance to produce other content that they want to put out. And this is where I kind of got the idea of them doing smaller projects around the campaign, like specific to the campaign, but that aren't actual episodes, in the form of like a comic series or maybe even like animated shorts or something as the campaign is going on. That would be slotted in that last Thursday of the month.
I feel like they'll probably do something unrelated to, like, it could be, and it could definitely have specifics to to the story. But I think the whole idea is like Matt's probably not going to be involved in any of those projects that happen on that. Or that's purely speculation, but I think because a large part of the idea was to give Matt a break as well, give him time more to plan and just an actual break. So I was thinking maybe like one-shots or board games or like more like everything is content kind of.
I could definitely see stuff. That. For sure.
That's what I first thought of, but yeah.
I'll be happy with whatever they put out.
Pretty much.
I have full faith in that they'll do everything. Another update.
It is nice. Sorry, I should say it is nice because the catch up stress can be kind of can be real for a lot of people. You always see people saying like, should I just read what happens and then watch so I can watch live, and I think there's a lot of pressure on especially new fans to catch up. So at least with this break, it will be a little bit more attainable for people to catch up. It won't be stretching quite as long. But even then, it's just also nice to have a week off. And I know if there's other stuff, definitely be watching it, but not having to go as hard all the time. What are we going to do on the week off?
I don't know.
Plans? We don't have plans.
I don't know. But I also do kind of enjoy that week off because I do the weekly highlight videos and stuff. So it'll be nice as well as for us, Critical Role YouTubers to have just a nice week off, either to catch up on highlight videos or to work on other projects that we want to work on. So it's honestly just good all around.
I don't know why you can't just stream 7 days a week, Nico.
What the heck? I should be slaving over wanting to stream and stuff.
Game a bit.
Grinding, no, but totally understand the decision. They should definitely be looking out for themselves, their mental health, their health in general. So I'm super happy that they're making that decision and taking care of themselves, not only themselves but also the crew and all of them, because they all put a lot of work into all of this. So definitely really happy with that. So some more sad news. They are no longer doing the art reel before the stream. I'm not sure why. I'm assuming they're replacing it with something, maybe.
I feel like they might do it similar to what they did with EXU, which was a lot of concept art and like a lot of paid art. Which I think, look, it's all speculation. I am not a lawyer or anything like that. I think part of it might be due to their new copyright.
That actually makes a lot of sense now.
It's a weird grey area of having people submit artwork for you to use on a commercial product, and then essentially having it there in perpetuity forever. With people's rights. So if they then want to take it off, if it's sponsored content that they don't agree with, it's. I think they're doing it preemptively to avoid any possible issues, but at the same time, I don't know. It's all speculation. That was my first thought, though.
That actually makes a whole lot of sense because they were obviously asking for permission from these artists to showcase their work, but they were likely not getting paid for it
No,
but obviously, Critical Role monetizes their streams through subscriptions and ads and all that stuff. Yeah. So they're using artwork from creators and making money off of it without compensating. It's a lot of copyright stuff, and I feel like I'm making it sound more bad than it actually is.
I think it's a smart decision. It's sad because it was really enjoyable, and I found a lot of artists through it.
Oh yeah.
But it's a smart business decision. I guess,
it's one of those, and that's kind of how we have to view moving into campaign 3, because with campaign 1, more so, campaign 1 was very primitive, I guess is the way to put it, in terms of like production quality, them viewing it as like an actual show. It was still like a game. Campaign 2 evolved even more, but now with campaign 3, it's definitely more business oriented. And that's not to say that it still won't have the charm that it has had this whole time. It's just almost required at this point, because they've grown so big and they're growing bigger, that they kind of do have to take into consideration all of these new things that are popping up with their growing fame. So
100%.
Totally good.
And there's like oh gosh, I should be able to remember it. I think it's just Critical Role Art Bot on Twitter is really good. They retweet pretty much anyone that does Critical Role fan art. So that's a really good one if you want to make sure you're staying up to date. And they're still doing the curated weekly fan art galleries.
Yes.
Which I feel like that's going to be an even tougher job now. Yeah. Because you're no longer relying on like a large majority being in the art rail. This is now highly curated.
Oh yeah.
It's a whole thing. It makes sense. It'll be a shame, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it'll definitely be an adjustment, and and as you were saying, it exposed you to a lot of new artists that you've become a fan of. For me as well, it definitely takes a hit for the artists who grew because their art was showcased. So it'll definitely hurt some artists, but again, it's a decision that makes sense, likely has to be made, and totally get it.
Yeah,
totally get it. But moving on to more exciting news, Critical Role has partnered with Cinemark theaters, and in select theaters across the United States, they will be showing the premiere of Campaign 3. I don't know if it'll just be the premiere or if it will be every episode.
I think it will just be the premiere.
I think just the premiere.
Yeah.
So be sure to check out and see if you have a Cinemark theater near you. My closest one is 2 hours away, so.
Oh God.
Yeah. But I'm also seeing a concert. I'm also unfortunately seeing a concert the night of the premiere of Campaign 3, so I won't be able to watch the premiere of Campaign 3. I'll have to wait till after the concert to watch it. Yeah.
Oh
it was very poor timing. Very poor timing, but it is what it is.
What are you seeing? What is more important than Campaign 3, Nico?
I'm seeing 100 Gex. It's a very interesting band. My friend introduced me to them. I was like, hey, you want to go to this concert? So I was like, sure, why not? So I'll be doing that. Yeah, but this was something that we had planned like a month prior, so I didn't even know that it was going to be the 21st. That's why it was like bittersweet when I found out, because I was like, oh, dang it, in a concert that day.
That's going to be an interesting experience, going to a live theater to watch with fans.
I know. I was definitely looking forward to that.
But I'm of the mindset of like, I need to watch by myself because I
totally get that too.
Otherwise. I do it for the experience, but I'm very much a completionist of I need to pay attention. I need to absorb this fully. So it's probably not for me. It's still a really exciting idea, and I imagine being in a room full of critters singing the theme song together would be a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I hope that maybe they do it again sometime in the future, like maybe like a once every now and then thing, since they're now partnered with Cinemark, because I would definitely love to experience that. I'm kind of sad that I can't, but it's all right. I got to go to a live show at some point, so I've had my experience.
Yeah.
So it's all good, but it's exciting news because it just puts into perspective how much they're growing. Still.
Yeah, I think that's the takeaway. What's interesting though, I know cinemas can do live streams, they can host live streams, but it's also pre-recorded, and the way like digital cinema works is they can, just send them a pre-recording, which makes me think there could be, before the campaign comes out, live copies of the episode.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Scares me. Basically, we've had leaks recently. We've had it's like it's a stupid thing to be scared about. It's a very kind of silly scared. But it's just I like that it's being pre-recorded. I think that's a very smart move.
But that is actually interesting, because like what if the premiere episode gets leaked, like the file gets leaked or something.
That black market.
Yeah, there's
people are going to be very upset.
Oh
if
yeah,
that episode gets leaked.
Yeah,
me included. Like that'd be nuts.
Oh yeah, that'd be rough. And then some asshole just like reveals all of the characters and their names and what they are and stuff. Yeah, that would be pretty rough. Pretty rough.
It was like my biggest fear. I remember going in to see Avengers Infinity War or Endgame or whatever the last one, Infinity War. We went like 9 a.m. the day it came out, but we knew that it had been out since 12 a.m. So we were walking with like headphones on.
Yeah.
We weren't looking at anyone.
Nope.
Just get in the theater. I was terrified someone was going to run in and just shout out spoilers, but I guess we live in a pretty good, like a non-dickish area. No one did
that's good. That's a relief. But that's a funny sentiment. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this would have been so cool to go to a theater and just see it packed with a bunch of critters all excited for campaign 3.
Yeah, it would be. I feel like the energy would be off the charts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now I wish I was going, but
I feel like if it runs well, they'll do it for other events.
Yeah.
So it'd be really cool if they could do it for. This would actually be really hard, but if they could do it for live events, live shows. I guess it would be tricky because then Cinemark would have to do the live stream, because that's not pre-recorded. But when they do eventually get back into live streams, if they could have cinema releases for live streams, because that'd be not like they're never coming to Australia. I've got a piece with that. But if I could go to like my local theater and watch a live stream at the same time as it was being shown, but with people around me, it would feel like I'm there a little bit. It's really far back and kind of blurry.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a nice dream.
that would be really cool, and I can imagine that they do really want to do like an international live show at some point, like going to a different convention overseas and doing a live show there. I can imagine that's probably something they do want to do, but also it's probably really hard to coordinate something like that.
Yeah, overseas. 100%. But it makes me think that again, if this is successful, they might. Or maybe not. I was just going to say they might do it for the release of Legends of Vox Machina, but then that's a whole thing with...
Yeah, that's with Amazon, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be cool, though.
Lost revenue.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. But this definitely does feel like a testing of the waters with the Cinemark deal and stuff. If it is successful, and they sell out in all the locations that it's at, I would hope that they would take that as a sign that they should do it more often. Maybe not for every episode. That might get a little excessive, but I mean, who knows? I mean, I wouldn't mind paying however much a ticket would cost to see it every week. I don't care. It's for the experience. The experience is well worth the cost of getting a ticket there. But I'll be excited. I am excited nonetheless. It's big moves.
I'm building up to the excitement. I will be excited.
Yeah. Yeah. Super awesome. But obviously with a new campaign, this is the best time for new viewers to jump on in. It's going to be new characters, new story, same world, but it's going to be all new everything. And we even got a new set, new experience, everything. So this is the singular best time to hop into the experience of Critical Role. And not only that, they are also going to be releasing their own sort of broad history of Exandria to catch you up on the major events of the world. I'm guessing is what they're going to do. They were pretty vague on what the video was going to entail, but they just said it was going to act as a way to catch the viewers up on what to expect going into Campaign 3.
Yeah, and they said it was Exandria too, not just one specific region, right? It was the entire world. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Like, and I think it'll probably be, dealing with pre-Divergent, like Age of Arcana, post-Divergence, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Give you a layout of the just said what you said. The history of the world.
The general history. I likely they won't delve into the specifics of campaign 1 or campaign 2 to avoid spoilers and stuff. But yeah, just like a vague like framework of how Exandria works and what goes on in the world.
I feel like it's going to start getting tricky, though, of what they can and can't say, because I feel like if you're doing the history of Exandria, we know that this campaign is going to be set after EXU, which was 10 years after C2, which was 20 years after C1. Yeah. If you're doing a thing which is at least 30 years after the events of Campaign 1, if you're doing a history of Exandria, you think you would mention things like Thordak and Vecna and that, but then you also don't want to spoil people that are like, you know, episode 43 of Campaign 1. Like,
yeah. That's true.
Sorry if you're up to that episode and you're like, what are they talking about? Yeah, like, you want to be able to mention those things without full-on spoiling what happened.
Yeah.
I think at this point people will be like, oh, I assume it's okay. It
right.
worked out eventually. Right. But, 6 years after C2. My mistake. Yeah, but we're in that roughly 25-year, 30-year mark. It could be even longer than. We just know that it is after EXU. We don't know how much longer it is. Which brings into question, like, where are we in that Plane Rider Rin's guide of...
Exactly.
The convergence. The convergence that is coming. We need to get a star map out. We need to, like...
I know. Where's Crit Roll stats? They gotta know. They know. They definitely know. But yeah, that's a good point, because that was one of our predictions. That was one of our predictions at the end of Campaign 2, was that the Plane Rider Rin stuff was going to play a factor of some kind in Campaign 3. It definitely felt like a build up. Sort of.
You got to break the multiverse.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Yes. I still want an Avengers-esque team up of Vox Machina, the Mighty Nein, and whatever bumblefucks are created for Campaign 3.
What if it is a multiverse break where, like, something happens and we start getting characters from other D&D universes? Oh
my god. Yes. And even not even just D&D, like the what was that high school one shot that we got? The something heart. Yeah, the Cinderbrush. Yeah, we.
For all this stuff. I was thinking like Dimension 20 stuff coming, but that makes more sense. we get like characters from the one shot.
Yeah. Oh, or like Ashley's one shot. All those fantastic characters.
Oh god.
Oh, that'd be great.
Quick, who would be the worst character to bring into Exandria from any of their one shots?
Oh my god. Chutney, maybe?
Chutney.
The bloodthirsty.
Chutney is a very good pick. I don't know. I'd say probably like
Oh man.
Oh no, I can't.
There's a lot of good ones.
Why did I ask the question? I can't think on my feet, apparently.
Or even any of the Undeadwood characters, because I love those characters, honestly. I hope we get more. No, because Brian is doing his own thing now. Dang it, Brian. But also good for you, Brian. I'm happy for you that you're pursuing your dreams and your goals. Yeah. You deserve it.
Thank you.
But also, gosh darn it.
Yeah.
But that's alright.
Yeah, but that's But that kind of segues, I guess, a little bit into the next point.
Yeah. Coming in early 2022, there will be a new after show talks. Don't know what it's going to be. Don't know who's going to be running it, but we will be getting it.
Yeah. I mean, it's very exciting. There's a lot of potential guesses. But I'm not sure if I'm ready to guess yet, because we don't know what the format's going to be like. I'm hoping it is a similar format, because it was just a very nice way, and because Brian always asked very insightful questions, to just get them to talk about the characters and talk about the choices they made. So I'm hoping, still in its sense, that of, you know, letting them talk through the choices they made as the characters. They called it like the after show. I'm not sure if that means they're not doing Talks Machina, if it's going to be a new branding.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
It's a little sad. But, you know, it is what it is.
I think a lot of people's first person that comes into mind is Danny Carr as being like the host of it. And I think that would probably make the most sense. Then the other one, yes, is Mika Burton. Would also be a pretty good choice, but ultimately we'll have to see because we don't even know if it'll follow that same format or if it'll be something totally different. We'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, it was pretty vague. They didn't really reveal too much about it, but it is exciting that there will be some kind of an after show talk show.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll be looking forward to that. I think that's about it for everything that they touched on. It was a very brief stream.
We talked about the new set and the table.
Yeah. I'm excited for it because in a couple weeks, I'm assuming before the campaign airs, we're gonna get like a behind-the-scenes look at the set.
Yeah.
So definitely excited for that.
I think they'll start slowly leaking out the promos for it. I really hope they do a silhouette like they did for campaign 2.
Yeah, those were really fun.
I wasn't obviously watching it when that came out, but I went back and saw them, and I was just like, seeing people's guesses were, I mean, obviously hindsight's 2020, but at the same time, it was like really fun to see what people were guessing.
Yeah.
For the like, oh, clearly that short one's a halfling, and it's clearly Liam. Like,
yeah.
It's just nice to see people get super excited. So I want that. I need that. I want to be a part of it.
I want the excitement. Yeah.
So I'm hoping they do something similar to that, which would be interesting.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. And I mean, the like one of the very last things that Matt said was that Taliesin has been asking a lot of questions in regards to the character that he's building, but obviously that's probably just a funny throwaway line, but also probably true. Also,
maybe not. Maybe it's. I mean, think about it. If you're playing Tharizdun, you're gonna have lots of questions, right?
Taliesin has been Tharizdun this whole time. Taliesin has been it. None of his characters, but Taliesin specifically.
The real person, Taliesin, has been
is Tharizdun.
The fictional character Tharizdun the entire time.
Oh my god. I'm here for it. And you can expect more Tharizdun shenanigans as the campaign 3 progresses, because obviously Tharizdun's going to play a pretty pivotal role.
We need like a button that we press whenever they say moon. It's like burp, burp, burp.
It just the sirens go off, the screen flashes. I agree. Production, get on that. But yeah, so that was about all they covered. So now, Alana and I kind of wanted to talk about our predictions for character classes and races a little bit, just to have a little fun at the end of this with the sheet episode. It is similarly following the poll that we recently closed.
Yeah,
yes.
We did close it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we closed it when the location was announced, which was a bit. I was kind of hoping we could let it go for a bit longer in the sense that people could still guess races and classes, but it's only fair, I think, to the people that have already voted that we close it now.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we could keep it running and be like, oh, we'll just discount the location votes, because that would be unfair.
Then for the people who voted for that location before the leak,
bordering on what you can do with a guessing competition.
Yeah.
So we just thought, just to be safe, we're just gonna close it off. We got on the Twitter guessing competition, we got 160 responses, which is super what exciting. I'm working through at the moment. But if you did vote in that, thank you very much. That was a lot of fun, and we've got some stuff coming out. That stuff will be released before the episode. But yeah, and then we'll let you know who got the best guesses.
Yeah. So we can go through the cast. I kind of did mine in order of their seating position in campaign 2. Oh, that works. Then which one was Ashley? Ashley would be first.
That's alphabetical. Look at it.
There we go. What was your top pick for Ashley?
All right. So I've got to explain my system.
Yeah, of course.
This is like I've got classes and not so much races. We were talking about this before. How like the races it's a little inconsequential. I wouldn't even be surprised if they do a lot of custom lineage from like Tasha's for this campaign.
Yeah.
Like get out of the restrictions of some of the races a little bit. For the classes, what I did was I thought of what they've played previously and what is the opposite of both those things, or at the very least, what is something very different to both those things. So it's just trying to speculate if they wanted to play a brand new, fresh character, something unlike anything they've played before. This is what they might get. So for Ashley, I thought she's played Wisdom with the Cleric, she's played Strength with the Barb, maybe Dex. So I guessed a Ranger.
Okay.
And I thought maybe Hunter, because Hunter gives you a lot of really cool features. They give you a lot of uniqueness to your Hunter. Like no one Hunter is the same. But then I also kind of guessed maybe a Swarm Keeper because she loves animals. And I could really see her getting in deep with like a swarm of creatures that are her own. We got little hints of that with like Fern and the way she interacted with her spirits. I'd love to see Ranger Ashley dealing with a swarm of like insects or something like that. So that was my guess. Ranger for Ashley. What'd you have?
I guess I kind of had a similar system. I was kind of just thinking of what would be cool to see this player as, something they haven't done previously, something totally different than what they've done. And I agree with Charisma. I think I would like to see Ashley as a charisma-based character, but I chose Sorcerer as mine because I think she would also do really well with access to spells, and she can be creative in her own way. I didn't really look too far into subclasses since my knowledge of subclasses is not very extensive, but I do agree that I would love to see Ashley as something different than what she's done before. And for me, charisma based I think would be pretty cool since I don't think she's done that either.
No. Oh well, what was she? She was Wisdom also as the Druid.
Yeah, Wisdom as Cleric, Wisdom as Druid, and then Strength for...
But I think we're on the same page. Like, she's just played Yasha for so long, she might look more at spell casting, so...
Yeah, that too. Yeah. Definitely. I've seen Bard thrown around there. I think Rogue was a very big one on the polls. So, yeah.
You're revealing some data there.
Oh! Or was it? Am I just trying to throw you off? I definitely think those are pretty strong possibilities. For race, I don't know. Again, I kind of just went random with the races. I said Dragonborn for Ashley. I don't know. It's just kind of random.
I did all my race guesses, and then I realized I was just looking at the basic rules, and I forgot about every other race. So mine are really boring. I said like maybe Tiefling or a half-elf. Again, it doesn't.
It really doesn't matter.
Races,
The class is what I find most interesting.
Yeah. The only aspect of race that interests me is the size differentials of the.
For sure.
I love it when you've got like really small, really big.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm happy as long as there's like a halfling or a gnome or a dwarf or a kobold or something in the party. That's at least one. Gotta give it to the small races.
Of course, you always gotta have that one.
Who'd you have next?
If we're going alphabetical, Laura is next.
Yeah.
For Laura, I want a charisma also character for Laura. I chose Bard for Laura.
Oh yeah.
I really think Laura would absolutely kill it as a Bard. Obviously, she's a fantastic singer. She's hilarious. Her Laura as a person just fits the personality of a Bard very, very well. So I think it would fit not only for her but also just as a character she would play. And then I just had Tabaxi as the race. I don't know.
Tabaxi, I'd love for there to be a Tabaxi in this party. It's such a cool race. For Laura, I also went charisma, but I said sorcerer for Laura. I think it's unique enough spell casting so that it'll be different from cleric. I think she enjoyed the aspects when like she could do like spell splitting with Jester. Having meta magic, she would really kind of go wild with. She might also then just go non-spell casting, like completely, and just surprise us and go fighter or barbarian or something. But I was thinking, a high charisma based class. So I said sorcerer. My rough guess was like maybe a shadow sorcerer. Or even like maybe a draconic bloodline.
That'd be cool.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I guess like dragonborn or human. Real basic guesses for the race.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We don't care about that. But for Liam, what did you have? What did you have for Liam?
So, excuse me. I said Bard for Liam.
Okay.
Because I think it's separate again enough from Wizard. They use similar spells, but then they've also got a lot of their own. But again, it's charisma based. And I saw a really good post it was on Twitter. Someone was asking Matt about like, has he worked at all on his College of Tragedy subclass for bards? Like, 'cause he had mentioned about wanting to make that before, and he only responded with those two little eye emojis.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm putting that in College of Tragedy, potentially for Liam as a bard.
And that would be perfect for Liam.
It sounds cliche, and I don't want to like insinuate that I only think Liam plays sad characters, because I don't think that. I know it's a joke, it's a bit of a meme, but I think it would be really good if we think of like this kind of Shakespearean-esque actor that is just down on there, like, give us the angst we need.
That's really good. Actually, I kind of wish I had shot. I picked that now. I scrapped my own prediction. That's what I want now. That's amazing.
I thought that, or swords, College of Swords, because that's also just fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like the idea of like this waxing poetic kind of. And that's also dramatic tragedy.
Oh yeah.
It depends on how the class is actually built up. If it is an actual tragedy bard, or like where their class features come from, deep fatal flaws and unescapable like sadness and
inescapable sorrow.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But if it plays more into dramatic bardic stuff, that'd be fun too. But I want the deep sadness,
the angst, the heavy shit. Give it to me, Liam. I know you can provide it. Yeah.
But yeah, that is, again, it's another high spell casting class, but it has a bit more melee, so it's a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Liam's hard because Liam went very melee with Vax, very spell casting with Caleb, so it's kind of a bit up in the air where he would go with his next choice.
Yeah, I totally see that. For me, I went with...
what was your initial guess?
Barbarian, actually.
Oh. Nice.
Because I remember briefly, towards the end of Campaign 2, I think maybe during a Talks episode, they were talking about if they had ideas for characters for Campaign 3. And Liam kind of hinted at the idea of playing a martial class, like a fighter or something along those lines. But then he played a fighter as Orem for Exandria Unlimited. So like, okay, well maybe he'll still pick a martial class for Campaign 3. And I thought Barbarian. I was torn between Barbarian and Monk. Might have been something. But for Barbarian, I didn't really have a exact reasoning why. I just thought if he were to pick Barbarian, he would, and still have like the angst that we know and love. It'd be very interesting, but also maybe might parallel Yasha's story a bit too much. Because of her personality.
That's a tricky thing with when, which I imagine would be hard for them, is to, if you're picking a class that was played previously, to make it your own.
Yeah.
Which I'm trying to think of where that happened. Like, I mean, we had the clerics. I think the only similarities was having a cleric and having a barbarian initially, but that was also both Ashley characters. So Ashley wasn't also there a lot, so there was a little bit maybe more freedom with the Campaign 2 ones to develop their own concept of this type of character. The only other one would be the rogue, but we had a very different rogue from Vax to not. So that was kind of an easy contrast to make, I guess. So that would be a hard thing, I think. Yeah, if you're going like, oh, well, I want to play a monk, but Bo was just so monk. How do I make a monk that is not Beauregard? Because I don't think there was any other matchups, was there? We had Warlock. We had no. I mean, there was like some multi-classing bits, but
Yeah, whatever. But that'll happen. That'll happen sometime.
Yeah.
But Liam was actually the hardest for me to sort of pinpoint. Liam and Marisha actually were the two that I didn't really have a good idea.
I was talking to my brother as I was doing this. I was just like, Marisha's the wild card, like,
yeah,
because I feel like no matter what she picks, it's going to be super unique. Not suggesting that the others aren't going to be super unique, but I feel like Marisha goes hard on her character choices, and I love it.
But what was your a nice segue? What was your pick for Marisha?
I said Barbarian.
Okay.
I think, again, so I went like she's been Wiz with Keyleth, she was Dex with Bo. I thought just straight up big, it doesn't have to be big beefy, but just a Barbarian, because I think there's some really fun paths of Barbarian that aren't, just your smashy smash. A lot of it is still smashy smash, but I thought maybe Path of the Beast, because that gives you a more kind of, that might be too druidic, actually. I might need to rethink Marisha. I did have a second option for her. I did say Gnome Barbarian, by the way.
Oh, nice.
But I thought maybe like a Dwarf Artificer could be fun as well. She has played a Dwarf before. She played the Cobblepot. Cobblepot? Pepper Pots? No.
Hopper something.
What's the first name? I can't remember the first name of the character. I mean, she played the Bard, Dwarf in Darrington Brigade. But I thought maybe, like a Dwarf Artificer, maybe like an Armourer would be cool, or an Alchemist. Because that is, on the outside, you look almost kind of just like a melee character, but you've got these very unique spells that you can cast. Which I thought would be fun. But I'm immediately convinced myself not to choose Barbarian when I said it, so I'm going to go with Artificer.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't choose Artificer as any of my predictions, but thinking about it, it would be really cool to see an Artificer in the campaign. So we got it briefly with Terry.
Talus, and that was pretty fresh then when Terry came out, the class. So it's been very well. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say, Nico? It's been updated and enhanced, and these aren't the words I'm looking for, but you know what I mean. It's been made better.
Yeah. I got you.
That's another one also, like maybe Taliesin could be an Artificer. That would lead to the many questions from Taliesin, because it's a not a tricky class. It's just there's a lot going on.
It's a very high skill ceiling for Artificer. For me, I guess we'll talk about Taliesin when we get there. But for me, for Marisha, I chose Ranger. I don't fully, because again, for me, like Liam and Marisha was the hardest one. So like Ranger, it is going back into Wisdom like Keyleth was, and it is very naturey. But again, it has that mixture of spellcasting while also having like martial capabilities and stuff with Bo, so it kind of blends Keyleth and Beauregard together in terms of not strictly being a melee class, not strictly being like a spellcaster and stuff.
It's a Dex Wiz class.
Dex Wiz. Don't have really much more to say on that. It would be cool to see her as also a charisma-based character, either being like a warlock. A warlock was another one that I kind of thought about as well. Would be interesting to see. I think it just goes to show that we all want to see them play a charismatic character at some point, just because we love to see that kind of personality come out and see how it role plays and stuff. So I would be totally fine if they all played a charisma-based character. Is all I'm saying.
So someone said earlier in chat, like, "Oops, all bards."
Yep. Hey. All elf bards. That's what they're gonna be. Elven bards or elven monks. That's what it was gonna be.
Interesting. I'm hoping we do get like an elf this campaign. There hasn't been an elf yet. There hasn't. I know there hasn't been a dwarf in the main campaigns either. There hasn't been a lot in each of the campaigns.
I think Liam's gonna play a dwarf. I don't know why. I'm just getting dwarf vibes from Liam.
I think I put for Liam. I said half orc or halfling. I went like either end. Yeah.
I don't know.
And dwarf. Imagine if they're all dwarves. That'd be amazing.
Yep.
I've DM'd a campaign that was all dwarves. It was a lot of fun because when an adventuring party wanders into a town, people are like, "Oh, that's an odd-looking bunch," and go about the day. But when like a band of dwarves walk in, they're like, "Oh, something's happening. What's happening?" Like,
yeah. Is Snow White nearby? Where all these where all these dwarves come from?
But yeah, no, they would be the Seven Dwarfs. Yeah.
Oh God. Oh no.
That's it.
There it is. We figured it out.
Yeah.
If we suddenly disappear, you know why.
Yeah.
The Critical Role writers came after us.
We got that sweet Cinemark.
Yep. I have it right in my desk.
Yeah,
I've watched it 10 times already.
Yeah. Where were we up to? We're up to Mercy. Yeah. So I think a dwarf here or there would be good.
For sure. For sure.
Good.
Who's after Marisha? Sam.
Which I have to say is currently the most wild in terms of guesses in the guessing competition. Except for in race. In race there's some very clear winners in the race category. But they're all the non-basic.
Yeah. I feel like I might know what one of them is. For me, so I chose monk. I feel like if there was anyone to, because in campaign 2 is always the joke of like monks are OP, like we should all just play monks in campaign 3. Yeah. I could see Sam being the one that does play a monk in campaign 3 just because of that joke. But then I chose Kenku. I feel like Sam would be able to pull off a Kenku.
Oh my word.
It'd be hard, but I feel like Sam has that chaotic energy about him that I think he would be able to make a Kenku work.
Yeah, that would be wild. I saw a few guesses in the competition which were, and they were my favorite, and there's one person had it, and I'm going to shout them out when we come up with the results. It was Kenku Bard of Eloquence, which I think is the funniest thing.
Oh my god.
Such a good combination.
Yeah, I mean, you just play as the Kenku and you just sit on like political meetings and various things, hearing all of these like intelligent people talk and just copy them.
Kenku's a great guess. And what was the race? What was the class? Sorry, you said? Oh, monk. Yeah,
monk. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good guess. And we got Liam picked his character. They said, like at the start. Like around towards the end, they said like Liam has already picked Sam's character. So I was trying to think of what was happening at the time of the story when that happened. Because initially I thought, oh, maybe Sam will play a Warforged, but I think that character was probably picked before the whole Warforged in Exandria came out. I guessed Paladin.
Ooh.
Again, because we've had charisma and we've had Dex. So I thought maybe a strength charisma.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is it strength? Are Paladin's charisma or are they wisdom? Oh no, they're charisma.
No, they're charisma. Yeah, charisma, strength, or charisma con, however you want to.
Yeah. So I thought a paladin would be really cool because I could see Sam playing either like a righteous or conflicted type character.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sam's always said he likes to play characters that are just like, fun and energetic to him. So I love the idea of a fun, energetic paladin. But I also put maybe Paladin of Vengeance because that's a nice bit of twist to the joy that is Sam a lot of the time. And Vengeance Paladins are just really fun. There's so much fun. They get so much cool stuff to do in combat. So.
Or what about what's the Chad Paladin? I mean, they're all Chads, but what's the path of
not devotion,
courage or something like that?
It's something like that. It's like path of righteousness.
Yeah, it's
Paladin. I'm looking it up.
That was a fairly recent release. That one.
Was it Glory? Oath of Glory?
Glory.
I think it might be Devotion. I think it might be Devotion because Devotion is all like, I am devout, I will... Like, they're the Inquisition Paladins.
Adam is saying Oath of Glory. I think you were right.
Glory. Okay.
Yeah, that would actually be super interesting seeing Sam play that kind of a character. What race, though, did you choose for Sam?
Boring. Skip.
Oh.
I said human or elf. Again, I wasn't really thinking about the races.
Yeah. Sam, I was just interested in since it seems like a lot of people put wild races for that one.
Yeah, I mean, he's played 2 smaller races. He could keep up the trend and do like, he could even do like another halfling. He could do kobold. He could do Kenku, as you suggested.
Yeah.
But
I was torn between Kenku and kobold for my picks.
You could go the other end and do like Goliath or like half giant or like orc, because
honestly I could because he definitely but because he has played 2 short races, I wouldn't be surprised if he just played a really tall one just to subvert expectations, stuff like that. That'd be a very Sam thing to do, I think. Super switching it up for sure. Who's next?
Taliesin.
Another
kind of wild card because I think Taliesin's been playing D&D for a very long time, so he likes to mix it up a lot. A lot of the stuff he's played has been fairly new stuff. I mean, Gunslinger was a new class by Matt. Bloodhunter was a new class by Matt. Even Grave Cleric was fairly new when he started playing it. So I guess for this, it makes sense to look at things that were new releases, or again, it could be a new class, which is not what I did. I just picked a random thing. But I thought Dex as Percy, Wiz, and I can't even remember what a Bloodhunter is. I think they're Wisdom, maybe. I don't know that much about Bloodhunters. But I thought maybe a Rogue for Taliesin. And I said Soul Knife.
Oh.
Really cool.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
But yeah, that was a pretty safe guess. But I also guessed this is the only one that I paid attention to with race. Thought maybe a Dragonborn for Taliesin. Because I know that in their very first home game, I'm fairly certain Taliesin played a Dragonborn.
Yes.
And I'd like to see that kind of return. I'd like to see more Dragonborns, or even like a return of Dragonborns in the world.
Yeah, I feel like Dragonborns are underrated.
Yeah.
Dragonborns are cool.
That was my guess.
I also chose Rogue for Taliesin.
Ooh, very nice.
Again, didn't really think about subclass and stuff, but I ultimately settled on Rogue, but Artificer also came into mind. And also, another one of Matt's homebrews. So I was thinking maybe instead of Rogue, maybe he could go like Wizard and then specialize in like Dunamancy. If Dunamancy ended up being more prevalent and stuff, and then maybe he played as a Drow or something. And then I also thought, in the same realm of like the Kryn Dynasty and stuff, maybe an Echo Knight instead, and then delved into all that stuff. And then ultimately settled on Rogue because. The only reason I assume or initially thought that was because of that offhand comment that Matt had made at the end of the State of the Roll of Taliesin asking a bunch of questions. So I was like, oh, I wonder if he's playing like one of those subclasses for like Dunamancy or like Echo Knight or something like that, and he just has to know all this different things. But again, it was just a joke. But I was like, but what if it wasn't? What if there's something to?
Let's read more into this.
Yeah. Well, I am picking up every single crumb off of the ground that they gave us, and I am inspecting that with a magnifying glass. Yep. Yeah.
That is what I'm doing. It's just like a broken jigsaw puzzle that we've jammed the pieces.
Yeah. Get that Elmer's glue. Let me glue this shit together. Make it a...
Yeah. This is something.
Yeah, and, yep. Looks good to me. But yeah, so interesting that we actually both put Rogue. That must mean we're right. If we both thought that. Because, I mean, we've both seen we saw the episode already. It was leaked to us.
We're not meant to tell people.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. You all saw nothing? You all heard nothing? Travis. So for Travis...
I wonder if we got the same one on this one as well.
Ooh, maybe. So for Travis, for whatever reason... I just envisioned him. I don't know if this is what I exactly want, but this is like the first thing that came to my mind. Just like a grizzled, old hermit living out in the woods as a druid.
Ooh,
that's what I thought of. Because I feel like he would roleplay a druid very well. I would like to see him have fun with wild shape and the different things that come with that.
Oh.
But druid was the first big one that came to my mind.
I like that. I didn't even think of druid for Travis, so that's a really good pick. But yeah, no, I like that. I think I guess similar. I guess what I picked was maybe changing it up a bit for his character type, because he's done Grog and he's done Ford, so they're both like, you know, heavy damage dealers. Pretty not straight laced isn't the way to say it, but ironically, what you see is kind of what you get a little bit. In you know, Forward. Yeah. But at the same time, it's the characters that Travis enjoyed playing, I think, were like these strong, likable people. So I was thinking of how he might change that up, because when he does play characters in one-shots, he goes ham. Like Bertrand Bell and Chutney, and also the most recent Ashley Johnson one-shot. He goes wild when he's like no consequences kind of thing. So I'd kind of like to see some of that energy come into like an extended campaign. And it reminded me of when he played Macaroni Samsonite, like the chaotic cleric.
Oh my god, so good.
I was kind of hoping for another cleric from because he also very much like, I think, liked fucking with Matt of like, you know, buffs and debuffs and things like that. So I was thinking cleric, it's a as far as clerics go, it's probably one of the easiest spellcasters. And I'm not saying easiest to like you know, comment on it, but it is pretty like straightforward how they spellcast. And it's a support class, so it's not. Oh, it can be a support class, I should say. I should know better than
they can pack a pretty hefty punch.
Yeah, but they do have a lot more support, obviously, than what he might. Then definitely what he had as Grog, and more even so than he had as Ford. Even though Ford was very good at support, he was the kind of in and out guy. So I thought cleric would be really good because it's a heavy support class, lots of spells, but accessible, and still a lot of melee. And I mean, trying to pick one of the 200 subclasses that cleric has.
Oh yeah, seriously, that's so funny.
It's cool. It's such a cool class.
It really
there's
is.
So many. There's some that need some love, and cleric just keeps getting on.
I would like to see Twilight because I love the idea of like the stars and celestial stuff.
Ooh.
So Twilight would just be cool to me.
I guess 3. I guess Forge, because it's kind of like that strong man. I feel like I'm like stereotyping Travis. I'm trying not to. It is like Forge is very much that, like, you know, typical kind of beefy cleric. Tempest, because you can kind of just let go with that one a lot. Very elemental, and it kind of plays into that, you know, person off in the woods. I like that idea of a hermit. And then I also said war, just because if he wanted to go more martial, there's another way to kind of slowly ease into a spellcasting class. And I guess a small race, so dwarf or gnome would be cool.
That would be nice.
Tempest cleric gnome. Just like,
gosh.
the idea of that. Like,
just shattering people with their thunder wave. That'd be great.
And shatter, I think.
And shatter. Yeah.
Straight up shatter.
Literally shattering. Yeah, because then they can do their channel divinity and just max damage that bitch, and do big damage.
Stormy Boy's got a really good point. If he goes Tempest cleric, he can finally be like a follower of Cord. It's like straight out. He's been pushing for that for real.
Doesn't have to admire from afar. You can be, you know, front and center. Boom.
Yeah.
I definitely really like to see that. That's everyone, right?
Yeah. That's it. We did it.
We did it. Those are all of our predictions. Again, you know, we're probably right because we've never been wrong before, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we're experts.
We're just that intuitive of what these people are thinking, and we
For sure. No, but in all seriousness, thank you to everyone who participated in the polls. Even if you didn't, obviously feel free to share your thoughts with us either in the live chat, or you can go ahead and join our Discord server. A link to our Discord server should be in the description of this live stream. Or Alana, if you want to.
Is there?
Oh, sorry, putting you on the spot.
Is there commands in?
I don't think there's any commands.
Well, there's a word.
Grab a.
I'll do it. I'll grab a link.
Okay. Yeah, be sure to join the Discord. It's a great place to hang out. There's a lot of us there. It's a chaotic group of people, but we're always looking to have a nice conversation and meet new people. And it's a very an awesome community to be a part of.
Nailed it.
But yeah, there it is. Those are our predictions.
Yeah.
Those are the incredible announcements from State of the Roll. I'm super excited about the future of Critical Role. What are your overall feelings about everything and leading into Campaign 3? How are you feeling about it?
I'm excited that they're expanding and changing. I think they've got such a huge following. I feel like they would never kind of want for followers if they maintained the same thing over and over again, because a lot of people would be very happy with just the same thing over and over again, which is fine. Like there's a lot to be said in the comfort of regularity and
for sure
the same thing. But I think as a business, as they want to grow, and as a production company as they want to grow, this is super exciting.
100%
It's super exciting for them. It's super exciting for D&D. It's super exciting for startups. And yeah, it's just nice to see them maintain that still kind of common idea of it is just them playing the game how they want to play it. I know I see a lot of people do get a bit panicky of like, well, this isn't the Critical Role I started with. Like they're big business now. It's like you kind of got to grow with them a little bit.
Totally agree.
Yeah, so it's a matter of more enjoying the content and not, not getting too invested in every aspect of it. If you can. That's not meant to be me passing judgment on anything. It's just, having some.
I totally agree. That was
speaking finished.
That was way better than anything I could have said, and I wholeheartedly agree with everything you said. That was very good. Definitely super excited. Yeah, definitely super excited for everything that they're going to have in store for us when they grow even larger than they even are now. I'm definitely excited for whenever they announce Legends of Vox Machina. I know we're going to be getting an update on that pretty soon.
New York Comic Con, is it?
Yeah, in within 2 weeks, I think. It's before Campaign 3, I know that.
Next week. 7th, New York Comic Con is next week, and they've got a panel that you can watch live, which okay, so here's what I learned, because I had to look it up, someone on the Discord asked. So yeah, if you're going to watch their panel, where they're releasing a sneak peek of Vox Machina, Legends of Vox Machina, you need to watch it live. Otherwise, you need to get the digital subscriber pass from New York Comic Con, and that way you can watch the VOD. But otherwise, the VOD is not going to be available for, I think, at least a couple of weeks, is what they said. But I mean, it's going to be available. Let's be real.
Yeah.
We don't condone pirating. That's legal, guys, you can do it. But I wouldn't stress. If you're going to visit, it's going to be there somewhere for you to watch.
And whatever information is talked about will probably be blasted on Twitter and all that stuff, so
100%. Yeah. There's going to be still frames cut out and sure. Yeah. There's no hiding this from the internet.
No, there's really not. No matter how hard they try. But not to get too sidetracked, but yes, I am very excited for everything that is going to be coming for us. What's up?
When is C2E2?
December 10th through the 12th, I think.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in the Discord's excited for it. So I was just like, is that coming up or has that happened?
Coming up in a few months. It's going to be pretty exciting. I feel like it's probably going to be a pretty low-key convention since it's a limited capacity. I don't think that many guests are going.
Fair.
So, yeah. we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it pans
exciting.
out. I'm still pretty excited for it. So, yeah. Lots of exciting stuff on the horizon, and even more stuff to be excited for in the coming year. 2022 is going to be packed with so much new stuff that Critical is going to provide for us, being Campaign 3, as well as various other forms of content that they come out with. And
how is it 2022?
Okay.
Like,
I don't know. It felt kind of weird saying that. It really did.
What happened?
Oh, jeez.
Did 2021 even exist? Like,
honestly, I don't even know. I feel like we're still stuck in March of last year. It's been a time. It's been a time.
Back to Atlanta, 1st of January 2020.
Yeah.
New Year's party going, yeah, the double crits. Like,
oh my god. Yeah, let's go. It's going to be so good. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Little did we know. But here we are at the beginning of Campaign 3, together, thriving and bracing ourselves for all of the exciting things to come. And I'm so happy that we get to share it together as a community. It's going to be awesome. So, with all that being said, we are going to call this one a wrap. As always, thank you all so much for joining us live, hanging out in chat, talking with us, sharing your thoughts and feelings. And thank you to everyone who's going to be watching this on YouTube or Spotify or wherever else this podcast may find itself. Thank you all so much for joining in on our conversations. And as always, don't forget to love each other, but most importantly, don't forget to love yourself. That is the most important thing you can do. So please make sure you're taking care of yourself. Drink some water, eat some food, get plenty of rest. You deserve it. And I'm happy that you're here with us. So, hope you all have an absolutely wonderful rest of your morning, day, evening, wherever you may be on this glorious earth. And we'll see you all very soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.